Alright, welcome back to another league race. This time we're with TMC Division 1. This time we are in the track known as Belgium. I mean, it's no Spa, but I mean, you get the idea. So, anyways, long story short here, we had the lobby going up. We were into the first lobby. There was rain at the end, and then due to reasons, we had to restart. And so I had to try and adjust the weather to make it match. But unlike the first time, there was a rain of tile there in qualifying in the race, when the forecast of the race, about a third one. This one there wasn't, so not sure how that will affect things, or how it will affect things, but we'll go with it anyways. Running 8 ballast here. Interesting setup. I'm using 2.7 for the for at least no, I think I left it as 2.7. I was thinking that, no, I think I did change to 1.7, I think, for a later run, but that's the general premise of it on the medium. So anyways, excuse me, it was a bit of a disaster, this qualifying session. So we get a lap in 43.8 on a set medium. So I was actually feeling good into this one. I thought my pace as a Belgian was okay, relatively speaking. So fast forward, this is my final lap on the softs. Not the lap I wanted to do. A lot of people did the supers, which is fine, but I left it, and I had a bit of oversteer. I kind of bailed out of my first lap on the softs, but it ended up being my fastest because I was kind of in an extreme time and fuel and such. So it was a little mistake up Eau Rouge, and there you go, Eau Rouge and Radion, more so Radion actually, and yeah, sadly. That was the best I could do. So I'm in P14, which is last, but I did think that was in no way indicative of what my pace is around here. I do think I'm quicker than that, but again, just prioritizing strategy, just not want to be on the supers. These are a few things that kind of, you can see the majority of people are on supers. So had I gone on supers, I do feel like I could have easily got myself into the top 10, but there you go. That's the situation. We're going to start last and see what we can do from there. So to be honest, I'd rather start lower than higher. To be honest, I'm a person that kind of works better to the field more so than coming, starting high. At least I think, anyways. Strategy then. I initially was going to do the softs. But I want to see where this rain would fall. You can see it ends up there at the last bit. So you can see the timer at the top right hand side. It's set to 6 down. It's 20 seconds left, and literally it was a last minute call. Basically, it came down to, screw it, I'm last. Let's just do it. Let's just try it, and we'll see how we get on. So I changed to these mediums, and I'm going to go to the rain. Basically, that's the idea. So we'll see how we get on with that. So, anyways, after the formation lap, here we go. Then getting ready for the start of this one. This is a tough one. A lot of DNFs can occur here through Radion and Eau Rouge and such, but away we go. I just want to take it real cautious at the start. I knew this first time was going to absolutely bog me down. RW2R had a little moment there, and Weiber came across. I had to get out the way of that very quickly. Just kind of being cautious around turn 1. Weiberg is behind, RW is behind as well. So we're up into 12th place to begin here, and just gotta keep a calm lift through this first through Eau Rouge and Radion, just on this first level with lift there, just to get the car through. I had no issues in practice with getting the flat through there once these tires warmed up, but that's the thing, isn't it? These tires have to warm up, and as a result, Weiberg is able to get the jump on me here. I had to lift off, and then I let him have that corner. I didn't want to fight that one too much more. We'll come back to Weiberg later, but for now we just want to take it easy, trying to avoid warnings, just trying to avoid any unnecessary action. But we got a good run on heading down to the Bruxelles hairpin. I thought I may as well try and take this if it's there, and so I do take it, heading into the no-name corner, leaving the space just in case, and beautiful exit there as well, not to exceed the track limits as well. So nice little move there to get back into 12th, but I knew that Weiberg would come because, look, mediums are not good around here, and again, it's not feeling that confidence to kind of go flash up Radion. So Weiberg again is going to get me here, and I didn't really fight this too much. I mean, I could have fought into a bit more of the higher mixtures, but I just let him go because I knew that this first stint, it wasn't about this stint for me. It was about whatever the second stint held, whether it be rain, whatever. It was that's what all it was building up for me was. So lap 3. I believe Kerosene Kevin's will have a little incident here on the curb of Pouon, and there it is. Have to avoid that. So we move up a position then into 12th. So points still a little bit of ways yet, but that certainly will make things a little bit easier. You can see RW is actually just behind us. He had a moment on turn in lap 1, and his pace was really good. He was setting fastest laps of the race on those softs. I know there's a bit of traffic in front, a lot of traffic in front, actually holding each other up, but he was still showing some really good pace. And again, I don't really fight it too much. You know, again, soft compound, he's going to come. That's fine. He'll come back to us later, I'm sure. So we'll try and do that as best we can. But for now, nothing we can really do about it. Lap 4. I believe Weiberg is having the moment heading out of the last turn, and that's going to let RW have a little look down the inside. He's going to make the move. Weiberg squeezes a little bit onto the grass, and then out of nowhere on the left hand side, you can see it, there's Hero Jokin, and there is a beautiful maneuver to avoid that. Gave me a heart attack at the time because I saw a yellow flag on the track, and I was like, where on earth is that in front of me? Well, there it was. I think it was Calsper. I had an incident with Hero Jokin, so that was that. Lap 6, I believe this is where Weiberg's mediums are soft begin to go. A couple guys have pitted, that's why we're in 9th. You see Matt is pitted behind me, he's on mediums. So you can see how far we're behind though. You're going to see that we're going to get a beautiful slipstream up through Blanchimont, and I wasn't planning to make a move here, but it ended up just going kind of going for us. I want to see how close I could get. I'll go round the outside of the bus stop. A beautiful move, but sadly, this would only be the beginning of a kind of back and forth affair that cost me a good bit of time, because unless you could break out of DRS within literally like these two corners, then you're going to be in trouble heading up towards Rouge and Radion again. So we're going to stick with this. We're in 5th now, as the guys have come into the pits to get on those mediums. Me, I'm going to stay out, but again, just lacking a little bit of confidence to take flat. You can see the wobble heading up the hill. So again, I had countless practice sessions and it was fine, but I guess if I could say anything, maybe the track conditions, maybe the track temperature has a thing to do with it, but I just didn't feel any confidence to take the car flat up through Rouge and Radion like I had before in other sessions. So anyways, Weiberg gets back through, and yeah, straight line speed heading up the Kemmel Straight, nothing really I can do about that, but he's going to make a mistake here out of Stavilo and heading towards Paul Frere. Going to go down the inside. Always a risky place to overtake, but he was wide enough, so I was able to get that one done. And just going to stick with this one out for a little bit, because although he ran wide, he didn't really drop very far behind. So even with I'm kind of trying to save as much ERS as I can, because I know he's a bit too far back to make a move on this occasion. So I have to slip over to my braking point, which is fine because as I'm entitled to do. But again, coming out of the bus stop, then get a decent run, but again, it's not breaking DRS at all. So unfortunately, you leave yourself with a lot of work to do. Once see, it's it's hard to break DRS around here. You really need to do it up the Kemmel Straight, and then hope you can break away through sector 2 for the downforcey sections of the track. So anyways, up and up again, a little bit of a lift, not as much this time, so a little bit of confidence was gained there, but it's just not enough to deal with those softs. And a little bit of contact there. I could have given more space, to be fair, but anyways, he's going to leave me the space heading back into Les Combes, and I'm going to undercut him beautifully here, switch back, boom, and then it's going to allow me good traction heading down the inside into Bruxelles again, like we did earlier in the race. And I have the racing line. He's going to have to try to hold around the outside, watch on those softs. It's going to be difficult for him to do, and we get that move done. So a beautiful switch back there to get that move done. That's to set up that overtake rather to Bruxelles. So that was very, very nice. Lap 10, he's pitted now. Weiberg RW is not pitted in front of me, and the leaders now have caught back up. So Perpetuum, Matt, Scuba, they're back up now, and Perpetuum is going to come through here. Nothing I can do about that. Fresh mediums, lap 10, yeah, nothing I can really do. But any into Les Combes, you see I'm up in my fastest time even despite that. Tyres at this stage were not nice, and the grip was being affected. You can see particularly through here. It's the Bruxelles hairpin, I guess they call it. I put too much throttle on, I run wide and get up on that outside curb, and then that launches me almost into the barrier there, and Matt and Scuba go by. So honestly, that outside curb at Bruxelles is death. The inside one's not great, but the outside one is death if you get up on it and just with the tyres degrading, put a bit too much throttle onto that, and then that's the result. It almost ended up in a DNF. Kevin then is heading up to us next. He's just behind this little scrap. I was hoping he wouldn't be stupid and do something heading round into Blanchimont, because that's a suicide unless you're side by side, and even then that's a tough one. So leaving the space on the outside anyways, or was it I'm not sure. I left the space anyways into the bus stop, but just trying to continue. The big thing is just trying to run my race. Like I didn't want to get too confident trying to fight these guys, but to still run my race, which means not fighting these guys too hard, but it means that once they go by, that I'm not sending one instantly to respond to kind of take the place back. So, for example, here for instance, I think do I even put it down into? I think I leave them rich and standard. Standard and rich. Yeah, knock down the standard, leave them medium, and just Could I have fought that? Of course, if I got rich and overtake, I'm sure I could have done something with it, but not what I want to do, not what I need to be doing. So let him carry on. Lap 14. At this stage, the tires are not good, but it's all about just waiting for the weather, which is coming, but not quick enough. And Dobby's going to get a nice run here. I'm going to pull to the right hand side. Just I mean, he's far enough ahead. Let him go. So F1 Alonso then is behind me next, and he's bringing with him, I think his Technique Gaming is with him. So off goes Dobby, and I need the rain to start arriving because my tyres are getting quite high, and I have gone to kind of I've able to dip down to 50%. I've gone to lean through some of these corners. I'm trying to save as much as I can. Technique F1 Alonso have kind of swapped places here, lap 15, and again there's nothing I can do about this. They've pitched it there on Fresher's tyres, and not going to bother fighting that, so let them go and pull in and just stick with it. Darren Sinclair's next, so already we're falling down to 8th place and we haven't made our stop. So again, I look at that 67% tyres. I do think this is not indicative of my pace, but because I'm hanging into the rain, it's tough. So anyways, lap 16. I believe that the rain has actually begun to fall by this stage. If not this stage, very, very soon. 70% of the tyres where Darren Sinclair goes through. I see RW, who we were fighting with earlier, is basically behind us. That's how much time you lose here when you try a strategy like that. So and now it's this stage, I believe the rain. You can see the rain has now come. So lap 17 then. But the thing about Spa is it's a long, long track, but the rain does need to be heavy to a degree. You see the tyre wear very briefly there was very, very high. I have interset, so even with this stage in lap 17, they see the rain is getting heavier, but it's still not enough to come in for a safe intermediate. So to be honest, looking back, I could have gone in this lap and it would have worked out okay, but it wasn't the safe thing to do. So I leave RW the space. He was on the outside. He was on, so I left him the space, and then he goes on through. So see, Y-Brake then is next and behind us in 11th, but you see kind of if I were to make a racing stop for a set of dry tyres at this stage, it would just be suicide. I'd be behind him, that'd be it for my race basically. So I have no choice at this stage, as I have done for a good few laps, like at least 4 or 5 laps now at this stage, to commit to this strategy. So this was a lap where it all began to the tyres really, well, not only my tyres absolutely knackered, but the conditions worsened to the point where it's just a tough one to deal with. So you're going to really see it through sector 2 here. I'm over 75%, I believe, so I'm in puncture territory, so I am trying to be extremely cautious. You see there a wiggle on the back end, and this is tough because we're going to be pitching for, look, with 5 laps to go, including the one run, we're going to be pitching for intermediates. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And now RW is ahead. We're basically on the same strategy now, so honestly, it was tough. It's pointless to kind of think about it or to kind of complain about it. I'm not going to complain about it, but the first run before the restart, I think with the forecast the way it was shaping up, I think the rain would have come sooner than this. And if it had come sooner than this, if the rain had come sooner than this, look at that big moment there on the curb. If the rain had come sooner than lap 18, basically, to where we need to pitch for inters, then I think the strategy would have worked out decently well. Look at that, 81% in the rear left. Well, decently well. It worked out better than what it ended up working out as in the end. So, but alas, it's not. And this is what we have to deal with. So, DRS has not been disabled, but this is the lap you pitch because you feel it in the track, you feel it in the conditions, and you just know when it is time to pitch. So, anyways. Perpetuum and Matt stay out. Scuba comes in, the rest come in. We're coming in, and I do have a dry set. It didn't really cater for the wet conditions in terms of my setup. I do have high tire pressures, a few bits like that, but 8 ballast as well. So yeah, Darren Sinclair there replaces a front wing, I believe, and here we go then. So we actually gained a position out of all that in the end. RW is just ahead there, and be careful on the exit. And Darren's actually going to have a moment here out of the pits. Not sure what. I'm guessing he lights up the rears or something. Something happens anyway, and there you go. Retires from the session and deploys a VSC, and that was, well, not that it affected me, but it did affect the lead for the race here, because Perpetuum and Matt had not pitted, so it left them with they minimised their time lost with dry tyres on a wet track under these racing conditions. So anyways, lap 19, that VSC ends. We're going to get by Dobby, who retires in the pits. I'm not sure what happened to him in the wet, but anyways, we're going to move on to P8. And there's RW just ahead there. I couldn't catch up to I think our pace was quite similar in the wet, but I couldn't catch up to him. F1 Alonso here has damaged his wing. I believe he damaged it just after Bruxelles to the no-name corner. So he's going to come in, change a wing, and that's going to promote us up to 7th. So that's going to basically be it in terms of the actual action of the race. All things considered, 7th place is a good result from where I started and everything that happened, but after the race I was just left not very happy about it. I guess because I felt like I never could really show my true pace, not in qualifying and in the race with the strategy I was on. So anyways, Scuba wins, so well done to him. Matt finished at 3rd in the end. Somehow the win escaped his grasp, but Perpetuum sandwiched it in between. So for myself, it's going to be P7, which is good points, but yeah, I felt like it could have been more, but a few things didn't go my way, and that's racing. I'm afraid 7th place not too bad though. I didn't get a penalty as well, which is nice. I had 2 warnings for a while there. One of them was I think I corrected the car. There's one section I had to correct the car and oversteered, and I went wide, and it counted as exceeding track limits. So anyways, that's going to do it for round 14, I believe, of TMC Division 1. Next up is Italy. Oh boy, that should be fun. I love Italy. Just kidding, I hate it. So anyways, until next time.